she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you lusting is the one you're loving?
I don't know, y'all. This when I read the story about the Saudis possibly starting a rival league to the NBA, I was like, that can't happen. And then I was like, that can happen. And then I was asking, like, would we support it? And then I was like, we would absolutely support it. If it depends on who's in it. If it's LeBron and them, yeah, we would absolutely support it. We would. And I I'm nervous about it because I was like, I couldn't even probably be a commentator on its they have some strict rules about where women should be. And then I just think about, ESPN and how that would it's interesting. Sports has a stranglehold right now on a lot of things. And the Saudis coming in basically taking over golf, taking over and really trying to take over soccer. Cristiano Ronaldo signed a $200 million deal this year, the soccer player. He was followed by Kareem Benzema, who left Real Madrid for $100 million deal with Saudi Arabia. And there's been a steady stream of players from European clubs that are in Saudi right now. And the league I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. They offered 300 million, to Paris star Kylian Mbappe, but I think he turned it down. Like, how could he turn it down? Because after a certain amount of money, the money doesn't even matter at that point. And you think about golf, and all of the resistance, and then they just were like, we can't fight this anymore. And then I'm like, what Jared said, if you have a city that's struggling and Saudi or China comes in and offers a buttload of money, you're gonna sell out. And you're not aligned to America as much as you're aligned to money. This is the culture that we have, right? We can't even, and I've said this before, and I'm not the only person. If we needed to do a bus boycott in 2023, I don't think it would happen. People's comfort, they to be all kind of complaints about all kinds of things and reasons why. And bus boycott would be proxy for, let's say, if we had to boycott football. Oh, that's a good example. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I stopped watching football on the heels of not just Colin Kaepernick and what happened to him, but also I think a dishonesty with an NFL that has not been committed to really hiring coaches outside of the white power structure, who look a certain kind of way. I know the Jets, I think their coach is Arab, and I love watching. What is he, Smith? He's Arab. What is he? Lebanese? Okay. Is that in the Middle East? Okay. Would that make him Arab? I don't know. Okay, just checking. Um, but that's, and I'm not saying that's not black, but it's not. And this notion, and this is why we had this conversation about Deion Sanders this week as well, because you start to see that power doesn't want to give, and it's really a power play. You want to make the world believe that this is the standard and this is what is excellent and this is the pinnacle, and so you build this mythology around it, and then a little pin gets poked in it and we get to see the truth. And the truth is, we don't have the fortitude to stand up for much of anything. I think a lot of us like to talk a lot, but to really make a commitment to not do something because you know that you can change the entire trajectory for everybody, I don't think we have that fortitude. So I think the Saudis, if they get a LeBron or Katie or Kyrie, we're gonna watch. Period. And I think about this, and I'm going to history, right? Because I think we need to always look back at history. How could this happen? How could this happen? Well, the NFL actually had a situation before the NFL. There was a national league, before there was a national league and American League in baseball. Someone came in and forced the National League into a merger. So in 1903, the World Series, it was the first of its kind, was a merging of the National League and the American League, which were two separate leagues, to come together under something called the Major League Baseball. But that was forced. That was forced by somebody that came in with a lot of money. and was willing to overpay players to defect from the American League, which was the dominant league, and force them into a merger. Similar thing happened in basketball. And in the NFL, they had a similar situation with the American Football League that led to a merger in 1966, and it went to federal court and won the right over the USFL in 1986. That allowed the NFL to squash that. It also didn't hurt that Donald Trump was a complete and total horrible business person, and he helped kill the USFL. Hey, Herschel Walker, how you doing? Yeah, so I could see the Saudis doing this. The PGA got mollywopped. So 866-801-8255. So I was wondering, like, who would be against, or who would stand firm and not watch a Saudi league of basketball players that had your favorites in it? Like, where's your line? And I'm seeing people align even on the college level. If you have a problematic coach of a team that you like, you're going to still wear the team's color and rock the team's gear, even if that coach is racist as F, if you're a Black person. I feel like we have spent so much time compromising what is due north, and it's across the board, not just with sports, morality, etc. Like we make provisions for the things that we like, even if it's wrong. So that's something I wanted to bring to the attention, because that could happen. But BRICS is actually happening. BRICS, BRIC is the acronym, as I mentioned to you before. It's Brazil, Russia, India, and China, but we now know that there's about 8 other countries trying to get in or already in. And I'll tell you why they came together. 2001, it was coined by Goldman Sachs chief Jim O'Neill. He was doing a research paper that underlined the growth potential of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. So he was studying this 22 years ago, and now it is here. It is here. In 2010, they officially formed, and together these countries represent more than 40% of the world's population and a quarter of the global economics. And if we're adding, if Ghana or Nigeria jump in, it's a wrap. They'll have like way more than half of the population and way more than half of the money. This is going to be very interesting as we watch this play out. More than 40 countries, including Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Algeria, Bolivia, Indonesia, Egypt, Kazakhstan, came to a summit to talk about what they're going to do. BRICS, they're looking at that as an alternative to whatever is happening over here with the EU, with America, with the, and they're dissatisfied with the global world order. Is that redundant? The global world? Yeah. The world. Is this the new world order? Let me find out. Saudi Arabia coming in is going to be a checkmate, I think. And so my question, again, I asked this question yesterday about what does it mean to be an American? Do you see yourself as an American? What is your allegiance to this country? 9/11 is on Monday. How many of you are tied in, outside of maybe some of you having had personal experiences with maybe family members that were lost on 9/11, or I'm old enough to remember, but I have students who weren't even alive when this happened 22 years ago. So I think a lot has changed. I think on 9/11, we saw one another as Americans first. Today, I don't think we see each other as Americans first. And I think that many of us don't even know what it means to be an American. And I'm talking about people who are donning Nazi uniforms and standing in front of Disney, talking about white power. You're not an American. You're not a patriot. That's not what it means to be an American. And I feel like we're at a precipice. We're at the breaking point of seeing this country maybe devolve into something that, while Jared Lodho said people care about gas and whether they can have a raise, I think there's going to be some more serious, and gas is serious for those of you who have to travel, but I think there's going to be more things to consider that we're not really prepared for. So
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one who loves things